Hello students, today we are going to calculate the example on Newton-Raphson method. We can say NR method. Till now we have seen the theory and computational procedure of NR method. Now we will see the example on NR method. So just look at the data. Here the 3-bus network is shown in figure 1, and in table number 1, the line impedance, type of bus and the voltage value is given. The active and reactive power flow are shown on the diagram with per unit basis. Here at bus number 2, the active power demand, or we can say active power is 4 per unit, reactive power, yes, this is the symbol of reactive power demand. Okay, at load bus. Bus number 2 is your PQ bus or load bus, where the 2.5 per unit reactive power is given. And bus number 3 is PV bus, where 2 per unit megawatt, or we can say 2 per unit generation or demand is given. Okay, generation is given at bus number 3 because it is generator bus. And here the voltage magnitude at slack bus is given as 1.05 with angle 0. Voltage is not specified on load bus, or we can say PQ bus. And on PV bus, the voltage magnitude is 1.04. There is no angle specified. Let us see what they have asked us to calculate. So using NR method, calculate the phasor values of, yes, underline this word, phasor values of voltage at bus number 2 and 3. Phasor values of voltage at bus number 2 and 3. Here condition is given of one assumption: neglect the shunt admittance or reactance at each transmission line. So let us start from our very basic first step, which is formulation of bus admittance matrix. So for 3-bus network, we'll start from y12 which is equal to 1 divided by z12. Here the z12 is given, so we will calculate the value of shunt admittance between line number 1 and 2. Similarly, between 1 and 3 and between 1 and 3 and between 2 and 3. Now our next step is to calculate the elements of Y-bus matrix. Okay, so we will start from Y11, which is the same process we have earlier done for many of the example. Okay, so Y11 is equal to Y10 plus Y12 plus Y13, where Y10, which is shunt admittance offered by the bus number 1, which is equal to 0, as we have neglected the shunt admittance at each bus, okay, or each transmission line. So here the value of Y11. Similarly, we can calculate Y22 and Y33. Okay, as per conclusion 1, the diagonal element is summation of shunt plus series element. Summation of shunt plus series element. Okay. Now, as per second conclusion, Y12 is equal to negative of Y21 or Y12. Okay. So here the off diagonal element Y12 will get the value of Y12. Similarly for Y13 and Y23. Now our next step is to substitute all the values in Y-bus matrix. So we will get the final Y-bus matrix for this network is here with the blue color. Okay. And as we know, the size of matrix is depends on the total number of buses or node into the network, which is 3 cross 3. Clear? Now, here in the next step, we have converted this matrix value, which is into the rectangular form, to the polar form. So, this Y bus matrix with the value of admittance in polar form. So all these values which is written over here in matrix number 1 will be converted into polar form in matrix number 2. Clear? And the third matrix which shows the polar form in the radian, which is converted into the degree. So all these values over here which is into radian, yes, let me write over here, radian, which is converted into the degree at in matrix number 3. So this is our first step where we have just derived the bus admittance matrix for our given network. I hope you have clear up to this. We have just converted the matrix into polar form, and again this polar form matrix with the radian value which will be converted into the degree. Hence the radian values are get converted into the degree. So we are going to use this final matrix, means matrix number 3, for the calculation of power flow analysis using NR method for this example. Clear? Every time in each example you need to convert this. If it is given in well in advance, then no need to calculate or worry. Okay. Next step is initialize the magnitude of, right, initialize magnitude of magnitude and angle. Initialize, or we can say flat voltage start. Initialize magnitude and angle of bus voltage. So for bus number 1, as we know, the bus number 1 is a slack bus, so the voltage magnitude is given, which is 1.05, and delta 1, which is 0. Okay, here it is given in your example. Yes, 1.05 with an angle 0. Next, V2 initial value, which is we assume, as it is not given over here, so we will assume at 1 and delta 2 at 0, which is 0. You wish you can write V2 0, which is equal to 1 angle 0. Okay. Next, for V3 0. So the value of V3 0 magnitude is given, which is 1.04, is 1.04. We will assume the value of the angle, which is 0. Clear? It is not given over here in your data. Okay. So we will just start a flat, we will consider a flat start voltage if you wish, right? Flat start voltage. We have assumed the values of voltages and their angle. Okay. Now, next is net active and reactive power, or we can say scheduled power at each bus. You can write net active and reactive power at each bus, or you can say scheduled power. Scheduled power. Okay, so let's start from bus number 2. You can write at bus number 2, we'll know the equation or P2 schedule or P2 net, which is equal to Pg2 means generation at bus number 2 minus Pd2. So here in bus number 2, the generation is not given, arrow outward to the network, that means it is demand. So you can write 0 minus 4, which is minus 4 per unit. This is your net active power at bus number 2. Similarly, we will calculate the reactive power at bus number 2, which is Qg2 minus Qd2. Here again, look into the data where the reactive power is given as 2.5 per unit, but arrow outward to the network, which means it is demanded. Into the network, that means it is supplied or generated. Okay, so here generation is not given, minus demand, which is 2.5 per unit. So the answer is 2.5 per unit, which is net reactive power or scheduled reactive power at bus number 2. Now similarly we will calculate at bus number 3. So for bus number 3 again we will calculate the net active power, or we can say scheduled power, Pg3 minus Pd3. Let us see into the data set where at bus number 3, 2 per unit is into the network, that means it is generated by the bus number 3 or generator at bus number 3. So the generation is given as a 2 per unit, demand is not given, that means 0. That over here is 2 minus 0, which is 2 per unit. Okay, now look at over here at bus number 3, there is no reactive power, demand or generation is shown. Okay, so that we will calculate it using our NR method. Okay, so or if you wish you can write as a question mark, as we have done earlier in the case of GS method. Qg3 minus Qd3. So is not specified to us, generation and demand is not given. So again it is a question. Okay, that we will going to calculate if it is required to us. Okay, I hope you have cleared up to this. Now the next step is we have to calculate the reactive power. We have to calculate the real and reactive power at bus number 2 and 3. Okay, using equation number 1 and 2. Our next step is we have to calculate the real and reactive power at each bus using the static load flow equation, which we have already derived in our past lectures. Okay, so new page. Yes, next step is we have to calculate, okay, the real power at bus number 2 and 3, and the reactive power at bus number 2, at bus number 2. Okay, why? Because look over here, only we will get at bus number 2 value of P and Q, and at bus number 3 we will get only value of active power. So at bus number 2 we will get the value of P2 and Q2, and at the bus number 3 we will only get the value of P3. So for calculating the reactive power we will get at bus number 2 and 3, and for calculating the reactive power, okay, so for calculating the active power we will get the value of active power at bus number 2 and 3, and reactive power at only bus number 2. So here we will calculate the real power at bus number 2 and 3 and reactive power at bus number 2. Okay, so I will write the generalized equation first and then we will calculate. So the generalized equation Pi, which is Vi into summation of j equal to 1 to n into summation is Vj Yij into cos theta ij plus delta j minus delta I. So in this equation we will substitute the value and calculate the real and reactive power, real power at bus number 2 and 3. Now you have one question, that why we need to convert our admittance matrix from radian, or we can say the polar rectangular form to polar form, because here in the equation of static load flow we will have the value in magnitude and angle form. So that's why we need to convert the values of these rectangular form into the polar form, and again in polar form radian to degree. I hope you have cleared. So because of this we need to convert the value of that admittance matrix or admittances into the polar form with degree. Clear? Now just substitute the value here. For bus number 2 we will substitute I is equal to 2, n equal to 3. So if we will substitute the I is equal to 2, n equal to 3, then we will get the value of j is equal to 1, 2 and 3. Clear? Where n is equal to 3 shows the total number of buses in your network. So in this example we have total 3 number of buses. So let me write the equation that will make sense very well. P2 is equal to, P2 means active power at bus number 2 equal to V2. First I will consider the value of j is equal to 1, which is V1, and Y12, sorry, it is same but Y21 into cos theta 12 make mistake theta 21 plus value of delta j. What is the value of delta j? It is j is equal to 1, that means delta 1, which is 0 over here. So substitute the value of delta j, which is 0 minus delta I is equal to 2, the value of delta 2 which is 0. Okay, so again it is 0. Clear? So the first term, let me use the different color. So this first term you will get after substituting the value of I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 1 in equation number 1. Okay, clear? Now our next step is to calculate to substitute again the value of j equal to 2. So we will get here v2 square y22 and not right, yes, y22 and cos of theta 22. Clear? Because here the value of j, I and j will be same, so delta 2 minus delta 2 which will be get cancel out. So I will get the final equation like this. Let me write over here again. I will get the equation after substitute the value of I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 2 in equation number 1. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Now next, the third term, again v2 v3, now j is equal to 3 y23 and cos of theta 23 plus 0 minus 0. Why? Because see the value of delta 2 and delta 3 which is 0. Clear? So let me again, here we will get this term after substitute the I is equal to 2 and sorry, here j is equal to 2 and j equal to 3. Clear? So this is how we will calculate the power, or we can say calculated power at bus number 2, active power at bus number 2. So let me substitute the value of each parameter which we have derived and the sum of the parameters are already given to us. So value of V2 which is 1 per unit. Yes, if you wish you can verify. V2 voltage at 2 it is not given, so here we have assumed that 1. Okay, so 1 V1 is 1.05. I am taking considering the magnitude V1, yes, 1.05 and the magnitude of y21 which is written over here, magnitude of y21 over here, or you can say over here. Here I have written only a in short form, but you need to consider the full value while you are going to solve this example. Due to lack of space, I will only consider the one digit after point, but you need to consider whole value after point. So here the value of y21 is 22.36068, which I will consider over here. It is 22.36068. Okay, into cosine now angle theta 21. See again, look over here, theta 21, that means y21 with the angle which is 116 theta 21 or 12, yes, 21 here it is, yes, it is symmetric matrix, so it will remain same. So it is 116.6 degree. So here value of theta 21 which is 116.6 degree. Clear? So this is how we will calculate the net, or we can say active power at bus number 2. Now again we will substitute the value of V2, which is value of V2 is 1 per unit, Y22. Let me show you again Y22 from the matrix Y22, which is 58.1377. Let's write over here 58.1377. Again, cos of theta 22. So theta 22 will be yes minus 63.4. Yes, we will write or substitute the value of theta 22, which is minus 63.4. Clear? And similarly for the last, again V2, which is 1 per unit, V3, value of V3, which is given as 1.0. So 1.04. Again the value of Y23 from the matrix 3, which is 35.77709, and cos of angle theta 23, which is 116. You can verify by yourself also. Okay, so the final answer of this calculation, we will get the P2, which is minus 1.1414 per unit. Okay, I hope you have cleared the calculation of active power at bus number 2. Similarly, we will calculate the active power at bus number 3, which is P3. So here, for active power at bus number 3, we have to consider the I is equal to 3, N equal to 3, and again the J is equal to 1, 2 and 3 in equation number 1. So I will write finally equation for active power at bus number 3. So yes, the equation will remain same, just we need to place I is equal to 3. Okay, so here it is V3, V1, Y31, cos of, yes, it is a theta 31 plus again the theta 3, all that value of delta we can say it is 0. So is 0 minus 0. Again here you have to substitute the value of I equal to 3, J equal to 2. So it is V3, V2, Y32 into cos of theta 32 plus 0 minus 0. Clear? And the last one is both the value are same, that means I equal to 3 and J equal to 3. So the final value we will get Y33 cos theta 33. So after substitute all the values of V3, V1, Y31, theta 31, V3, V2, just let me write over here again. Yes, you can get this equation after considering the I equal to 3, J equal to 1, again I equal to 3, J equal to 2, and same I equal to 3 and J is equal to 3. So the final answer for this calculation after substitute all the value you will get 0.5616 per unit. Yes, you just need to verify it by yourself. Okay, substitute all the value of each and every parameter and verify this answer with your calculated answer. So here we have calculated the active power at bus number 2 and 3. Now the next step is we need to calculate, yes, reactive power at bus number 2, as we have discussed over here. So let us calculate the reactive power at bus number 2. So again need to write the equation of reactive power. Yes, from the static load flow equation, just recall the equation number 1 and 2 which we have written in the initial theory of Newton-Raphson method. So as I will write over here, Qi, which is equal to minus Vi summation of J is equal to 1 to n Vj by Ij into sine Ij plus delta J minus delta I. So using this equation number 2, we will get or calculate the reactive power at each bus, or in our case at bus number 2. So just consider I is equal to 2, n equal to 3, and using this I equal to 2 and n equal to 3, we will get the value of J is equal to 1, 2 and 3 in this equation number 2. So again I will not write all the equation. After substitute all this value, we will get the final value Q2 at bus number 2, which is minus 2.28 per unit. So this is the final value of reactive power. So now the next step is we need to calculate the change in active and reactive power, or difference in, I will write difference in calculated, or we can say scheduled, difference in schedule or need, not calculated, it is schedule means need. I'll write in brackets so you will get the idea. Schedule, or we can say need, to calculated power, which we have calculated in our previous step. Okay, so let's start the first delta P2 at initial condition, delta P2. That means we have the P2 schedule which we have calculated, I think over here, yes, P2 schedule, clear, and minus P2 calculated, which we have calculated over here, P2 calculated, clear. So we will get the difference in net to calculated power, which is the scheduled one is minus 4 per unit minus the calculated one, which is the scheduled one here, it is minus 4 per unit, and the calculated one is minus 1.1414. which is minus 1.1414. Here, so the final answer for delta P2, which shows the change in or difference in your net or scheduled power to the calculated power, which is 2.8586. Clear? Now, similarly for change in active power at bus number 3, we will get P3 scheduled, or we can say net, minus P3 calculated. Okay, so here P3 scheduled, which is 2 per unit, and P3 calculated, which is 0.5616. So we'll write 2 minus 0.5616, which is equal to 1.43846. 43846. Okay, these are the values in per unit. Now the third one is delta Q3, Q2 0. Okay, which is equal to Q2 scheduled and Q3 calculated. So here the scheduled value of Q2 is minus 2.5 minus Q3 calculated, which is minus 2.28. So the final answer is minus 0.22 per unit. I hope you have clear up to this. Okay. Next step is we need to formulate the Jacobian matrix for our network. So I will write the generalized equation so you can get the idea how to formulate the Jacobian matrix, or you can say the entire equation. Here the left hand side we have the change in active and reactive power, which we have already calculated. Yes, over here. The right side the Jacobian elements. Yes, let me draw the separation line so you will get the idea, or you can understand easily. And the second matrix, the right side, which is delta delta and delta at the right side. In second matrix we will get the delta delta and delta V. Okay, so here the first quadrant we will get del P by del delta, or we can say G1, and here it is del P by del V. Here in third quadrant we will get del Q by, again it is del delta and del Q by delta V. Okay, so we have to formulate the matrix like is our generalized equation. So let us formulate. In our system it is given that the 2 active power, that means change in active power at bus number 2 and bus number 3. So here we have delta P2, delta P3, and the third element is delta Q2. So here it is delta. Next, before starting or formulating the Jacobian matrix, yes, from the very basic equation we will calculate the size of Jacobian matrix. So previous lecture I have discussed that size of Jacobian matrix which is calculated from 2n minus 2 minus m, where n is equal to total number of buses. So in our case, it is 3 bus network minus 2 minus m, where m is equal to total number of PV buses. So in this network, we have only one PV bus. So here we will get minus 1. So the size of Jacobian matrix will be 3. 3 cross 3. 3 cross. Clear? So let us write the elements of Jacobian matrix. So here the elements are started from the first element. It shows the del p by del delta. That means here we have del p2 by del delta 2. The second element is del p2 by del delta 3. Here it is del p3 by del delta 2, and here it is del p3 by del delta. Just compare this equation with the generalized equation which we have derived in our previous lecture. So you will get the idea about it. So I hope you have clear up to this. Now the next element again here is p by v. So we have del p2 by the value of del v2, again del p2 by del p3 by the value of v2, and similarly for the reactive power here del q2 by del delta 2, again del q2 by del delta 3, and the final term is delta q2 by delta v2. So here the size of the matrix will be 3 cross 3, and second matrix at the right hand side, which is we have delta 2, delta 3 and delta v2. Clear? So this is most important part of your example, that you have to formulate this equation for NR method. Clear? Now just give the name equation number A. Okay. So now we need to calculate each and every parameter of this equation number A. As we have already calculated this change in active power at bus number 2, change in active power at bus number 3, and change, or we can say difference, in reactive power at bus number 2. So now let us calculate each and every parameter at bus number for Jacobian matrix. So starting from this first parameter. Okay. So here it is del p2 by del delta 2. So we have already derived the equation for p2 over here. Yes, here it is. Just take a first order differentiation of this equation. Just write the equation number 1.1. Okay, so just take the differentiation of this equation with respect to delta 2, which is here. Yes, with respect to delta 2. So you will get the final equation v2 v1. Just take the differentiation with respect to delta 2 of equation number 1.1. So you will get this final equation: sine theta 21 minus delta 2 plus delta 1 plus v2 v3 by 3 sine theta 2 3 minus delta 2 plus delta 3. Here this term will be cancelled because there is it is there is no value of delta 2 in this term, so it will become a 0. It is represent as a constant with this differentiation of this delta 2, so this will become a 0. So not here actually it is 0, but yes, here in this case it is 0. So you will get this final equation. After differentiating equation number, if you wish you can write from equation number 1.1 or different, take the differentiation of equation number 1 with respect to delta 2. With respect to delta 2 will get this final equation or first element of Jacobian matrix. So after substitute all the values which we have already derived, so we will get the final answer for del P2 by del delta 2, which is 54.2634. 263. Okay. Now next again I will just write the equation del P2 by del delta 3. So just take the differentiation of this equation number, say 1.2 with respect to delta 3. No, sorry, 1.1 with respect to delta 3. Then you will get, in which you can write equation number 1.1 with respect to delta 3. So you will get the final answer like V1 V2 sorry V1 V3 by 23 sine of theta 23 minus delta 2 plus delta 3. So after substitute all the value, you will get minus 33.2698. Okay. Now similarly, I will not write all the equation. Similarly, you will get the del P2 by del V2 is same way from equation number 1 with respect to V2. If you wish, you can write equation number 1.1 with respect to V2. So you will get the final answer for this is 24.890. Clear? Now we write over here for the rest of the parameter. We have calculated P2, P3, sorry P2, P2V, first three parameter. Now for the next parameter, again del P3 divided by del delta 2. So again let me write, yes, equation number 1.2 with respect to delta 2. Equation number 1.2 with delta 2 with respect to delta 2. So you will get the final answer as, yes, you all need to verify all the answer with yourself. Okay. If you find any mistake, directly contact me. Okay. So same way or similarly we can calculate all the parameters of the Jacobian matrix. Okay. So similarly we will calculate the value of del P3 by del V2. Yes, again equation number 1.2 with respect to V2. So you will get the final answer minus 16.663. Same way for del Q2 by del delta 2. Yes, for equation number 1.2 with respect to 1.2, sorry, it is 1.3 for Q3. It is over here, yes. It is equation number 1.3 or 2.1 you can say. Yes, it is 2.1. So, from equation number 2.1, differentiate with respect to delta 2, will get the final answer as minus 27.173. Okay. Similarly, again delta Q2 with delta 3, which is 16.663, and last one is, let me calculate, 1 2 3 1 2. Here the one is missing. Okay, P3 with delta 3 will remain. Yes, we'll write over here P3 with delta 3, it is 66.0365, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the last one is delta Q2 by delta V2, which is 49.707. So this is your final value for all the parameters. Just highlight with different color. One, as we have 3 cross 3 matrix, so total 9 elements are there. So 1 2 3, then 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. We'll write the number if you wish. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Total 9 element we have calculated. Okay. Yes, just nothing. We have to just follow the mathematical process and differentiation of the equation number 1.1, 1.2 and 2.1 with respect to first delta 2, delta 3 and V2. Okay, clear? The equation of P2, P3 and Q3, just we need to take the differentiation with respect to delta 2, delta 3 and V2 respectively. Clear? Okay. Now, final answer, we will substitute all the values in equation number A. So, the next step is just substitute all the calculated value of each and every parameter of the Jacobian matrix into the equation number A. So here at the left hand side, the change in reactive power we have calculated, which is 2.8586. Here it is 1.43846 and 0.22, which is equal to all the 9 parameters we have calculated in this step over here. All the 9 parameters of Jacobian matrix. And again here it is delta 2, delta 3 at initial condition and delta v2 0. Okay, so I'll just quickly write all the values which we have derived. 54.2334 up to 634 and minus 33.269 and 24.890. Here again it is minus 33.2698. The second J22 is 66.036. Here is minus 16.663. Here it is minus 27.1737. Okay, and 16.663, and the last one is 49.707. So now, as we have discussed in our steps, that we need to get the value of this change in angle and change in voltage from this solution of this matrix. So just take the inverse of this Jacobian matrix. I will write the final answer after considering the inverse of the Jacobian matrix. You will get the value of each parameter is written over here. That means delta 2, delta delta 2, delta delta 3 and delta delta v, which is equal to, yes, which is equal to, I will write just final value, and mathematical process you can calculate by yourself. Okay, here just take the inverse of this matrix and multiply with this matrix. So we will get the delta delta 2, delta delta 3 and delta v2. 0.0452 minus 0.0072, sorry, 77 and minus 0.0266. Clear? I hope you have clear up to this, that this is just a procedure that we have already discussed. Okay, and we need to just follow the procedure to calculate the example. Okay, so the last step is we have to calculate the new bus voltage and angles in the first iteration. So new bus voltages and angle, or we can say new bus voltage magnitude and angle, which is derived using this equation. Delta ik plus 1 is equal to delta ik plus delta delta ik. Here for first iteration, that means k is equal to 0. Okay, so here just substitute the value of delta 2 at initial condition, or I can write all the equation again. Delta for I is equal to 2. Yeah, write the condition I equal to 2 first for bus number 2. Delta 2 at first iteration, which is delta 2 at initial condition, plus will get the delta 2 at initial condition, a change in delta 2 at initial condition. So here delta 2 at initial condition, which is Yeah, here it is 0. Delta 3 is 0. So here 0 plus change in angle, which is minus 0. Delta 2, which is minus 0.452. So the final answer is delta 2 after first iteration is minus 0.045. Here it is 0.452. Here. Now, similarly, we will calculate the delta 3 by considering I is equal to 3. Alright, 2 and 3. So, I is equal to 3 for bus number 3. Angle bus number 3 after first iteration, which is delta 30 plus delta 30. So here we have 0 plus delta 3, which is minus 0.0077. So the final answer is minus 0.0077. Okay. Same way we can calculate the voltages at bus number 2 after first iteration. So here we will calculate using the equation VI. I will write the generalized equation and then after we will VI K plus 1 VI K plus 1, which is equal to VI K plus change in VI at K iteration. Clear? So just substitute the I is equal to 2 because we need to calculate only the voltage at bus number 2, which we have assumed over here. Okay. So yes, we will see what we need to calculate from this initialization on. Let's start voltage. Here we have to calculate voltage at bus number 2, angle at bus number 2, and similarly the angle at bus number 3. So we need to calculate these three parameters after completion of all the process. So V21 is equal to V20 plus delta. Okay, consider magnitude over here. Delta V20. So here we have V21 as we have assumed it is 1 per unit, plus here the calculated value of change in voltage, which is minus 0.0266. So the final answer for magnitude of V2 means voltage at bus number 1 after first iteration is 0.9734 in per unit. Okay, so this is your final answer for the after first iteration for delta 2, delta 3 and V2. I hope you have cleared. Now the next step is, if you have to ask that just calculate the power flow from bus number 1 to 2. Say from 1 to 2. So you need to calculate S12, which is equal to V1 into I12 star. And again from S21 means power flow from 2 to 1, which is V2 into I21 star. Clear? And the power loss between bus number 1 and 2, which is equal to S12 plus S21. So this is how we can we can calculate the power flow using NR method. Okay. Yes, let me recall you again what we have done here. the network and example data are given to us. From that, what we have done, our first step is we need to formulate the Y-bus matrix, and in Y-bus matrix we need to formulate Y-bus matrix or element of Y-bus with polar form and angle in degree. Clear? Now next is flash start voltage. Yes, then after net, or we can say schedule active and reactive power at each bus. Then after real and reactive power using static load flow equation. Now to calculate the static real and reactive power at each bus using static load flow equation, then we need to calculate the change in active and reactive power, means your scheduled power to the calculated power. After calculating the change in active and reactive power, just substitute all the values of change in active and reactive power in this equation. So then you will get the then you need to calculate the value of, or we can say parameter of your Jacobian matrix. So here we can calculate the size of Jacobian matrix using this equation, and then after we need to calculate each and every element of Jacobian matrix using these equations which we have already right over here. That means for P2, P3, that means equation number 1.1, 1.2 and 2.1. So just we need to calculate each and every parameter with from the equation number 1.1, 1.2 and 2.1. Here we have considered the differentiation of P2, P3 and Q3 with respect to delta 2, delta 3 and mode of V. Okay. Then what we have to do, substitute all the values in matrix or equation A. So we will get the final matrix with this type. Now our objective is to calculate the change in angle and change in voltage from this matrix. So we will make a subject of delta and delta V, and then just take the inverse of Jacobian matrix. We will get the final answer for change in angle and voltage, and then after we will calculate the new active and reactive power after first iteration. New active and reactive power after first iteration. Clear? Here. And if it is asked to calculate the power flow, then using this equation we will calculate the power flow from bus number 1 to 2, 2 to 1, and finally the power loss of that network. So this is what very basic and simple example of power flow analysis using GS method. I hope you have clear up to this.